Interesting fight this was. A few things I want to talk about in this fight. Chris Eubank Jr. Obviously, everybody knows that I'm a huge supporter of Chris Eubank. I like him. I think he's a good style. I like him all around the block. I'm a supporter of Chris Eubank. I'm a fan. But with this fight, I mean, obviously, look, we're looking at this fight because this fight was an audition for Gennady Golovkin, yeah. And I've been saying that Chris Eubank Jr. is the best test for Gennady Golovkin. I still think that at middleweight, Chris Eubank Jr., with what we have at the moment, is the best test for Gennady Golovkin. Am I saying he beats him? Look, I'm not saying that, but I do still think that he stands the best shot. Because you can't just look at it like, this guy doesn't deserve to fight this guy and he's not in his league, etc., etc. Looking at the fight with Tom Duran, Chris Eubank Jr., he looked patient. He didn't look like he was wasting the rounds like he did against Billy Joe Saunders. He was still winning the rounds, but he didn't jump on Tom Duran instantly. He worked his way through it, and he didn't go wild and he didn't go crazy and gas himself out like he's done in previous fights. In this fight, it seems like he's rejuvenated himself from the Billy Joe Saunders loss. And, you know, because after that fight, he was going all out, like too much, gassing himself out. In this fight, he went for it, but he didn't jump on it. And after the first knockdown, he really just took his time and was really cerebral in his approach. But and he eventually stopped him, worked Tom Duran down, worked his body, worked his head, and he got him out of there. Tom Duran, he dropped several times in the fight, but I don't think there was any time where he was significantly hurt. He looked okay, but he looked like he was looking for a way out of there. He kept dropping to the floor. Either that or he was trying to buy some time. Chris Eubank Jr., I'm going to say one thing, right? And this is a negative about him, and I'm a huge Eubank supporter, always. I have been for a while. The problem with Eubank is that he leaves himself open. When he's throwing a shot, he leaves himself open, and he likes to throw hooks. If he fights someone like Gennady Golovkin, who is the elite of the elite, Triple G throws down the pipe, straight punches, hard punches. He throws a few hooks, but his hooks are not as looping as Chris Eubank's. When Chris Eubank throws, I think there is a case to be made in Gennady Golovkin's favour that Triple G, he will counterpunch Eubank hard and make him pay, especially because he's a straight down the pipe puncher. So for me, but I don't think that any more time is going to do Eubank much more good. I think that Chris Eubank should face Gennady Golovkin now. I think that waiting more time, I don't think is going to get significantly better. I think now's the time. Let's talk about it. The iron's hot. Triple G hasn't got a fight. I think make Triple G versus Chris Eubank Jr. I think Eubank Jr. has the capability to potentially put it on Triple G, go all out, and have a high work rate, and you never know, he could do it. I think Chris Eubank Jr. has all the chances in the world, but on that showing, he left himself open a lot, and for me, you know, it does show that Triple G is still the favourite to win this fight, and he's going to obviously be the favourite, but I still think that, you know, Eubank Jr. is a little bit out of his depth, but I still think it's a great fight to make, and I think it's the best test for Gennady Golovkin, considering there's no one else out there. Comment section below, subscribe as always. Chris Eubank Jr. Did the job, did well, showed he's a class above British level. In a bit, guys.